What's the War Wednesdays with Mike Dean. Today we're going to look over and catch up to speed with some of the work that Mike Dean has been putting out, and also ask him a few questions about his production. Mike Dean, if you guys don't know, has worked with so many artists throughout the years, all the way from Tupac, Scarface, E40. He's even got some work done with Latino artist Selena. He's also worked with people like Beyonce, Designer, Nas, and as you guys know, of course, Kanye West, Travis Scott, Kid Cudi, so many, the list goes on and on. This year he's also been working with a lot of new artists. Some include 070 Shake, Don Toliver. But today we're pleased to have you here, Mike Dean. How you doing?
What's up?
How's it going, Mike Dean?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I just want to start off by saying that my mind was blown by the music and the instrumentals from the Fortnite event. God, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. First, I just want to ask about the 420 project and how that kind of came to creation.
Came to creation. I don't know if you're aware of my live stream I do on Instagram. I've done like 26 of them so far. The live streams is just me, on the synthesizer, just jamming, improvising and shit. And that's basically where my whole, like, 90% of my album came from.
What was like the time that it took you to create the whole thing?
Literally like an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow, that's amazing. So it was kind of like a raw process. You didn't put a lot of post work or work after?
And then all I did was export the stuff out of Ableton and I put it in Pro Tools and mixed, each song for like 30 minutes or something.
What was kind of the influence behind this, or some previous artists, bands that inspired you for this sound?
Like King Crimson, like Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, definitely. You can hear that trippy, spacey sound.
Like Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
So Travis Scott, just a few days ago, he did this big event on Fortnite where it was basically a virtual concert and over 10 million people tuned in all at once to pretty much take part in this. And a lot of your music was featured in this, which I thought was very amazing. The Scots was one of the last songs that was in there, and it was just tremendous, man. Like the
room was there,
The sound was just out of this world. Did you ever think that your music was gonna make it into the video game culture like it just did?
Not really. I mean, I worked on Call of Duty though, right? The last one.
No, I actually did not know that. That's new to me.
I did 4 of the tracks that are in the game. The real hard driving 808 tracks, like co-produced with Sarah Schachner.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know you've been making records since '92, platinum records since '92. You've seen a lot of success in your days. Did this kind of surprise you a little bit? Because it must be kind of hard for you to be surprised at this moment, just because you're banging them out.
The Fortnite, yeah, I mean, I heard there were like 12 to 15 million people in there at a time. That's crazy. That's pretty cool.
Were you a little bit surprised by that? Because it must be kind of hard for you to be surprised at this moment, or by now.
I mean, yeah, I was excited about it, of course. I didn't shit myself.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of figured that a little bit, just because you've been making these huge numbers since '92, so you must be used to that by now. You rolled like a joint in like a second or two, man. Those things look like they were made by a rolling machine.
Like that.
I saw that right now you got a cool t-shirt that you've been promoting a little bit, posting on your IG, and it features you and Kanye West, and I believe your brother as well. Can you talk a little bit about this t-shirt?
It's a picture of I believe that's the first day that Kanye ever came to my house. First day I ever met him in person. We talked on the phone before that. Pretty historical day, the start of the whole fucking era, you know.
Yeah. Around that time, Kanye was just a producer. He hadn't took that step into becoming a full-on artist.
Yeah.
How was the workflow back then compared to nowadays?
I mean, pretty much about the same. We were in Pro Tools then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one thing, I don't know if you know about Pro Tools and stuff, but
A little bit, yeah.
now you can use, you know, up to 256 tracks. But back then, the biggest Pro Tools system you could put together was 64 tracks, you know. And remember the first song we mixed was 2 Words with all the violins from that girl, you know, remember that? And it had like 120 tracks, you know what I mean? So he couldn't play all the tracks at once to mix, so he'd mix like, I'd mix down all the drums, put them on 2 tracks, mix down all this, put on 2 tracks, so we got it reduced to 64 tracks, you know?
Yeah, you have to kind of bypass the system in a way.
Yeah.
You work with a lot of synthesizers and equipment. Do you constantly expand, or you kind of have your to-go sounds?
It's forever changing, you know?
Yeah.
I go through phases. Sometimes I'll buy a keyboard every week for like a month or 2. You know, I've been chilling lately, right? I haven't bought much.
Yeah.
Been like, but every week or 2, a new synthesizer will cycle through the studio, you know, from the storage room, just to keep shit fresh, keep shit different, you know.
For the producers, you can get a little specific about like any sound or instrument that you really like using. That's kind of like your watermark, but at the same time, I know that you're always changing your sound, and it's evolving.
There's a whole lot of sense in, you know, when there's a lot of mood,
Back a little bit about the 420 album. I saw that you kind of created an experience where you wanted to take people like through the trippy journey of being at home, where you kind of start a little bit mellow, and by the end of the project starts to get a little bit distorted. The BPM's like faster, and it really kind of takes.
You know?
And I feel like Pink Floyd does that a little bit. It's just like that trip, and you're just going through it, and you get on that roller coaster.
The album when I decided to make it, I had like at least 18 live streams, you know, like 10 hours of music to pick from. So I just decided I'd pick 4 nights. They went together well progressively, you know, to build into like an angry type of vibe.
It kind of all naturally just laid down.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I just wanted to ask also a little bit about the recording process when it comes to doing a project like Jack Boys. Are people sending over verses, or, you know, do people come to the studio and lay it down?
On that album, they sent me all the songs already recorded. You know, I'd hear them every once in a while, hear where they're at, but
yeah,
they usually do all that stuff over at Travis's place.
Okay, yeah.
He's got a studio in Hollywood now.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of recording happens in the moment, so sometimes they'll just get it down and get that over to you. That's awesome. So what can we see from you in the future? Everything is looking very exciting, and I love to see all the work that you're doing. And I know you're very nonchalant about it, but what's something that you have in the works right now, or that you might be excited for?
I mean, really, my next album, you know, next album I may do another instrumental album in between, but the next main album is going to be the next compilation album, right? Like with, you know, with Travis, Kanye, like Kid Cudi, Don Toliver, who knows, you know, Jay-Z. I'm trying to put it out there in the air. I want to watch the Throne song on my album, you know.
Yeah, that's that. I love that one. I was just
Throne song. I need a Kids See Ghost song. I need a
yeah
Scott song. Yeah, you gotta make it. Gotta make your wish list up high. Try to make it, you know.
Yeah. Where can we find the Kanye shirt? The Mike Dean Kanye shirt.
MikeDean420.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, that shirt is going to homeless shelters in Houston, LA, Chicago, New York, and the fuck coronavirus mask.
Yeah.
Those proceeds are going to the Grammy Music Cares COVID-19 charity, helping. I think it's helping out of work musicians and things. You know, like
Awesome.
crew people. You know, like shit like that.
Cool. So yeah, I encourage everybody to check that out. Go listen to the 420 project, and we'll see you guys. Out here traveling, bro. That was so sick.